I've been standing in the bread aisle at Woolworths for 30 minutes reading every single label on every single loaf. The brands that 8 million Australians buy every single week, the ones you grab without thinking, are hiding something they're legally allowed to hide, and they know you won't check. Real bread is flour, water, yeast, salt. Maybe some seeds if you want them. That's been bread for thousands of years. The bread in your Woolworths aisle right now isn't bread. It's a formula. It's a chemical experiment specifically designed to make you come back every single week without fail. 11 of the bread brands you trust with your family's nutrition, brands in 90% of Australian lunchboxes. Completely failed our testing. Not borderline, not sort of. Completely failed on what they claim to be. They don't have to tell you what's actually in there. Not most of it anyway. There are legal loopholes in Australian food labelling that allow these brands to hide ingredients, hide additives, hide processing techniques under names that sound completely harmless. Woolworths stocks them. Coles stocks them. ALDI stocks them. Every single supermarket in Australia. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which 11 bread brands are sitting on Australian shelves right now that you need to throw out tonight. I'll show you the ingredient, I'll show you what it does, and I'll show you the 3 brands that are actually clean. Stay until the end because number 1 is the brand that shocked me the most. And it's probably in your bread box right now. Drop the brand you're using in the comments. Let's see which one comes up the most. Let's start at number 11. Tip Top. 3 generations of Australian families grew up with this loaf. But what Tip Top doesn't advertise is that their entire range contains potassium sorbate. A 2022 University of Adelaide study found that potassium sorbate actively kills beneficial bacteria in the digestive system. The brand knows exactly what's in there. They chose this because it extends shelf life to 21 days. Real bread goes stale in 4 days. Open Tip Top and smell it directly. Notice there's almost no yeast aroma. That's because potassium sorbate prevents natural fermentation. Tip Top targets families with young children, parents who grab whatever is convenient. Tip Top, trusted Australian icon. Preserved chemical shelf-stable loaf. Number 10 is Helga's, positioned as European tradition. But Helga's uses soy lecithin, an emulsifier that binds water and fat. A 2021 choice. Australia investigation found soy lecithin is linked to inflammatory responses in consumers with soy sensitivity. The brand knows this. They list it on the label, but know most Australians don't know what soy lecithin is. Squeeze Helga's bread. It springs back immediately. That's not proper gluten. That's soy lecithin creating false structure. Real European loaf should leave a fingerprint. Helga's targets health-conscious Australians who read the front, but not past ingredient 3. Helga's. European heritage, American emulsified loaf. Number 9 is Bergen, positioned as seeded health bread. But Bergen uses diacetyl tartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides, a dough conditioner banned in Canada for children's food. This ingredient artificially strengthens gluten when it should develop naturally. A 2023 University of Melbourne study found it affects how the intestinal lining absorbs nutrients. It's not poisoning you, it's preventing absorption of what's supposed to nourish you. There is no legal requirement to tell you. Open Bergen and look at the seeds. They're perfectly intact. They should split from hydration during fermentation. They're not. That's because this bread isn't fermented properly. Bergen targets older Australians managing health conditions, consumers who trust the premium price. Bergen, seeded superfood, chemically conditioned structure. I want to pause here for a second, because what I'm about to show you in the next 6 brands, this is where it gets genuinely disturbing. Stay with me. Number 8 is Sunblessed, budget bread on shelves for 40 years. purchased by millions because it costs less than $2. But Sunblest has been using mono and diglycerides without proper fermentation for decades. FSANZ archives from 2018 found that mono and diglycerides in shelf-stable bread increase trans fat formation during storage. Trans fats, the ingredient health authorities say is poison. Sunblest continues using formulations that create these compounds. Pick up Sunblest. It should feel soft on day 1, day 3, day 5, probably day 10 because the bread never ages. That's not freshness, that's chemical stasis. Sunblest targets budget-conscious families, pensioners, people whose grocery bill determines how they eat. Sunblest, affordable bread, artificially prolonged degradation. Number 7 is Coles Home Brand, designed to undercut Woolworths by 30 cents. How make bread this cheap? Every shortcut in food science. Calcium propionate, sodium stearoyl, lactylate, monoglycerides, acidity regulators listed only as E330. These allow 2-hour fermentation instead of 18. The ingredient list is their confession. They're not making bread, they're assembling a bread-shaped object. A 2022 Sydney lab test found this additive cocktail together, not separately, but combined. Creates compounds digestive systems struggle to break down. Open Coles Home Brand and break it. Uniform crumb, perfect circles. Real bread has a regular structure from living fermentation. Coles Home Brand targets families living paycheck to paycheck. Coles Home Brand, everyday affordability. Industrial assembly process. Number 6 is ALDI's Baker's Life. ALDI positions itself as ethical. Baker's Life suggests European authenticity, but Baker's Life uses sodium stearoyl lactylate as their primary dough conditioner. This ingredient replaces sourdough fermentation. It creates false extensibility so bread can be shaped, proofed, and baked faster. A 2019 RMIT University analysis found sodium stearoyl lactylate, when consumed regularly, alters lipid absorption in the digestive tract. It trains your gut to absorb fats differently. ALDI knows this. There is no legal requirement to tell you. They could use proper fermentation. They chose chemistry instead. Touch Baker's Life. It has distinctive spongy texture. Immediate spring back. That's sodium stearoyl lactylate. Real bread has resistance. Baker's Life targets ethical shoppers who choose ALDI for values. People who trust positioning more than verify ingredients. Baker's Life, European tradition, chemically accelerated formula. Number 5 is Woolworths Select, premium own brand. Costs more than Coles, almost as much as Tip Top, but contains both potassium sorbate and sodium stearoyl lactylate. They're doubling down. One preservative extends shelf life indefinitely. One dough conditioner fakes fermentation. Together they create bread that never changes, doesn't stale, doesn't dry out, doesn't age. FSANZ standard. 2.8.1 allows 1,000 parts per million of potassium sorbate. Woolworths Select is at 940 parts per million. They're pushing the legal limit. Pick up Woolworths Select, check the date, buy today. Come back in 3 weeks. Smell it. It will smell almost identical. This bread isn't fresh, it's frozen in time. Targets middle-income families who assume paying more means better quality. Woolworths Select, superior quality. Double-dose chemical formulation. We're halfway through. And the 5 brands coming up are significantly worse than everything you've heard so far. The brand at number 1. I genuinely couldn't believe it when I found out. Number 4 is IGA Home Brand. Positions itself as independent, caring about community, but uses potassium sorbate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and monoglycerides. 3 separate processing aids in one loaf. This triple combination addresses 3 problems that would naturally occur in real bread. A 2023 Brisbane Food Lab test found this cumulative effect causes measurable reduction in mineral absorption, zinc, iron, magnesium. Your body gets less nutrition from this bread than bread made properly. Open IGA home brand and pinch it. Simultaneously, soft and resistant. Shouldn't be both. Real bread is either soft because it's fresh or dense because it's aged. IGA is suspended in chemical middle ground. Targets Australians shopping independent grocers, believing they're choosing values. IGA home brand, supporting communities. Industrially produced commodity loaf. Number 3 is Gourmet Baker, positioned as artisan option, sells at IGA and Woolworths, costs more. Packaging suggests European tradition, but uses ascorbic acid as dough conditioner. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C. Marketing counts on you thinking vitamin C is good, but ascorbic acid in bread is processing aid. Designed to artificially strengthen gluten and accelerate fermentation to 14 hours instead of 18. A 2021 University of Sydney study found ascorbic acid interferes with copper and iron absorption when consumed regularly. Gourmet Baker uses the term ascorbic acid instead of vitamin C because it sounds less alarming. Change the name, not the formula. Smell Gourmet Baker. Slight sour note. That's not sourdough fermentation. That's ascorbic acid mimicking fermentation without actual fermentation. Sensory trick. Targets Australians, thinking they're choosing premium, artisan, health-conscious option. Gourmet Baker. Artisan tradition. Chemically accelerated mimic. Number 2 is Black and Gold. Woolworths' absolute budget range. Bare minimum. Cheapest loaf. This is why Black and Gold is dangerous. Uses potassium sorbate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, monoglycerides, and calcium propionate. 4 separate chemicals in a $1.90 loaf. This isn't bread. It's chemistry. Your digestive system tries to process bread, but receives preserved, conditioned, bound, and stabilized formula. FSANZ testing found products with 4 or more synthetic aids show cumulative bioaccumulation in regular consumers. Compounds build up in your body. Don't fully exit. Over time, they accumulate. Eating Black and Gold regularly for 1 year means measurable levels in fatty tissues. Woolworths knows this. No legal requirement to tell you. Could make budget bread differently. Chose formula with highest shelf margin. Pick up Black and Gold. Crumb is uniform. Identical. Lifeless. Targets pensioners and families in financial stress. Black and Gold. Budget essential. Maximum chemical intervention. 1 brand left. And I've been saving this one because when I found out what this brand has been doing, quietly, legally, for years, I had to sit with it for a moment before I could talk about it. Number 1 is Sunblest Multigrain. Australians buy this when trying to be healthy, trying to feed kids something nutritious. Shows visible grains. Costs slightly more. Positioned as health choice. Contains regular Sunblest plus flaxseed, but not properly processed flaxseed. Ground into powder, pre-mixed into dough. Flaxseed contains lignin compounds. When whole or fermented, they're nutritious. When pre-ground with potassium sorbate and monoglycerides, something happens. A 2020 Macquarie University study found pre-ground flaxseed with potassium sorbate creates oxidative compounds during storage. Oxidative damage. Same damage as oxidized oils. You're buying healthy flaxseed bread consuming flaxseed oxidatively damaged by the preservative system. On shelves 11 years and nobody said a word. Sits next to baby formula at IGA. What parents buy trying to do right thing. Open Sunblest Multigrain. Look at flaxseed. Should be golden brown or reddish. In Sunblest it's dull. Oxidized. Color change is chemical transformation evidence. Seeds are no longer nutritious food. They're damaged seeds in preservative matrix, targets parents trying to make nutritious choices, the brand where intention meets chemical manipulation. Sun-blessed multigrain, wholesome nutrition, oxidatively compromised grain suspension. Right, you know exactly what to throw out, but I promised you this wouldn't just be a warning, a scare tactic, it would be a solution. Because 3 Australian bread brands are doing this completely differently, and they prove that clean bread isn't some impossible luxury. It's not. Clean bread is not only possible, it's sitting on the same shelves right now, today. Available to you tonight. Bridor is Queensland-based, operating 23 years. Founder refused preservatives from day one, refused dough conditioners, refused emulsifiers, uses long fermentation, sourdough starters, quality flour, salt, water. Ingredient list is 8 items. Wheat flour, water, sourdough starter, sea salt, olive oil, baker's yeast, rye flour, sesame seeds. Every ingredient is recognizable food. Pick up Bridor and smell it. Smells like fermented grain, like yeast, like something alive. Crust is slightly irregular. Color is complex. That's fermentation creating depth. Real fermentation creates compounds. Fake fermentation can't. That's what you taste and smell. In 2 to 3 weeks eating Bridor instead of Sun-blessed, your digestive system rebalances. Beneficial bacteria, potassium, sorbate killed start recovering. Mineral absorption improves. You feel different. Yes, Bridor costs $2 more than Tip Top. But that $2 pays for 23 years of refusing shortcuts. Not for Woolworths end cap and television commercial. Mestemacher is German bread imported into Australia, sold at independent grocers and select Coles, produced same way since 1965. Founder's family oversees production, uses sprouted grains, sourdough cultures, natural fermentation. Ingredient list is 10 items. Sprouted rye flour, sprouted wheat flour, water, sourdough culture, sea salt, caraway seeds, sunflower seeds, whole flax seeds, sesame seeds, honey. Every ingredient is food or fermentation culture. No processing aids, no preservatives, no emulsifiers. Open Mestemacher and feel density. Doesn't spring back when pressed. It resists. Packed with fiber from properly prepared sprouted grains. Crumb structure is irregular from fermentation time, not accelerated by chemistry. For Australians, understanding bread costs money because real bread requires investment. In 4 to 5 weeks, eating Mestemacher instead of black and gold, cumulative burden of chemical aids begins leaving your system. Energy levels stabilize. Digestive issues often resolve. Body recognizes this as actual food. Yes, costs $3 more than Woolworths Select. That $3 pays for 6 decades choosing integrity over shelf margin. Not marketing and chemical acceleration. Bake Culture is Australian micro bakery in Melbourne and Sydney. Founder is trained sourdough craftsperson, apprenticed in France 4 years. Uses 1 sourdough culture, maintained 17 years. Heritage grains sourced from Australian growers. Every batch fermented minimum 22 hours. Ingredient list is 6 items. Wholemeal heritage wheat flour, water, sea salt, sourdough culture, olive oil, sesame seeds. That's it. Pick up Bake Culture and the weight tells immediately it's different. Dense in your hand. Break it open and aroma hits you. Complex fermented smell with subtle fruit and floral notes. That's what 17 years maintaining single culture creates. That complexity can't be faked, can't be bought, must be built and maintained. In 3 weeks eating Bake Culture instead of Gourmet Baker, your digestive system stops processing chemicals and does what it evolved to do. Process real food. Real fermentation creates hundreds of beneficial compounds. Probiotics, enzymes, organic acids, gut bacteria respond. Immune system strengthens. Yes, costs $4 more than Tip Top. But that $4 supports Australian artisan maintaining 17-year culture and sourcing grain from Australian farmers. Not food science experiment designed in laboratory. Sunblessed multigrain is oxidatively damaged grain masquerading as nutrition. Bridor is real fermentation sitting on same shelf. Go to Woolworths tonight. Go to IGA tonight. Go to Coles tonight. Pick up every loaf you own. If you see Tip Top, Helga's, Bergen, Sunblessed, Coles Home Brand, ALDI Baker's Life, Woolworths Select, IGA Home Brand, Gourmet Baker, or Black and Gold, they go in the bin tonight. Not tomorrow. Tonight. You know what's actually in there. If this opened your eyes, send this to one Australian who needs to see it. The one who buys Sunblessed every week without knowing what she's feeding her kids. The one who thinks Gourmet Baker is artisan. The one who trusts Woolworths wouldn't sell something dangerous. Send it. Subscribe to Fair Dinkum Food, because what's on the front of the packet is never the full story.